Not far from the busy city of Las Vegas, there is a quiet beach. One night, a large group of young people, teenagers and young adults, decide to have a big beach party there. The beach is away from the city, far from any crowds, which makes it feel like a perfect private spot. Everyone is excited. There is loud music playing, cold drinks going around, fun games being played, and lots of laughter filling the night air. To make the night feel more special and rule-free, one of the boys in the group, a confident and bossy young man named Mitch, makes everyone put their cell phones away. He collects all of them and locks them in the trunk of a car. He tells everyone they will get their phones back only after the party is completely over. Nobody argues because everyone is in a great mood and just wants to have fun. While the main group is busy dancing and drinking, two boys from the group, Vance and Gilbert, are sent off to find wood for a bonfire. They walk away from the main group along the beach, searching in the dark. But instead of just finding regular pieces of driftwood, they come across something very strange. However, when they go back and tell the rest of the group, nobody really cares. Everyone is too busy partying and having a good time to pay attention to one weird-looking thing on the beach. So the night continues as normal, and by the time everyone is tired and drunk, they fall asleep wherever they can, on the sand, in the car, on benches, or on wooden tables near the lifeguard cabin. When the sun rises the next morning, the beach looks very different. The music is gone, the laughter is gone, and almost everyone is still asleep. A young woman named Kaylee and her boyfriend Mitch wake up together inside a small lifeboat that is sitting up on the top of the lifeguard tower, a raised wooden platform above the beach. They decide it is time to go home, but just as Kaylee looks down from the tower to climb down, she notices something strange on the sand below. A small bird is sitting on the beach and its feet are stuck. The bird cannot move. It flaps its wings and struggles, but something beneath the sand is holding it. Then right in front of Kaylee's eyes, within just a few seconds, the bird is completely pulled down into the sand. It disappears, entirely swallowed whole. There is no trace left of it. Kaylee watches in shock and confusion. Not far from the lifeguard cabin, a group of young people are waking up inside a parked car. Among them is a girl named Chanda. She looks around and notices that her friend Mara is still asleep on top of one of the wooden picnic tables on the beach. Chanda calls out to her to wake up. Mara slowly opens her eyes, feeling sick and dizzy from drinking too much the night before. She groans and tries to sit up. Just as she is about to slide off the table, Kaylee, who has seen what happened to the bird, screams from the tower to warn Mara not to touch the sand. She tells her something is wrong with the ground, but Mara does not listen or understand fast enough. Her feet touch the sand, and instantly, like a trap snapping shut, the sand grabs her feet and holds them firmly. She screams in terror and confusion. She tries to use her hands to push herself free, but the moment her hands touch the sand, they are grabbed too. The sand begins pulling her down slowly like quicksand, but faster and more violent. She screams louder and louder as she sinks. Hearing the screaming, another young man named Vance jumps out of the car to help her. He runs toward Mara across the open sand, and within a couple of steps, he is knocked to the ground by an unseen force, and his body is stuck in the sand as well. Now both of them are trapped. The rest of the group panics. Mitch, watching from the lifeguard tower, grabs a life raft and throws it toward Vance, telling him to grab it so they can drag him to safety. But Vance cannot move his arms anymore. And then in one horrifying moment, the sand begins to melt his face, dissolving his skin like acid. His face disappears and his whole body is pulled straight down into the ground. Mara is gone too. Both of them are completely swallowed. Nothing is left behind except empty sand. The survivors stare in disbelief. Two of their friends are gone in minutes. The group is small now. Kaylee and Mitch are on the lifeguard tower platform above, and Shonda, Jonah, and Ronnie are inside the parked car. One boy named Gilbert is discovered to be sleeping inside a large metal barrel that had been left on the beach. Someone had drawn a funny but rude picture on his face while he slept as a prank. When Gilbert wakes up, he is furious and demands to be let out. The others warn him frantically not to move and explain what happened. When Gilbert hears that two of his close friends are dead, he becomes completely distraught and starts thrashing and screaming, trying to force his way out of the barrel. Mitch tries to calm him down by telling a lie. He says the tide will rise in a few hours and the water will cover the sand, so Gilbert can walk away safely. This calms Gilbert slightly. After Mitch says this, Kaylee quietly pulls him aside and tells him he is wrong. The tide will not rise enough to help. Mitch admits he just said it to give Gilbert hope and keep him from panicking. Hours pass. The sun rises high in the sky and becomes extremely hot. Everyone stuck on the beach is now being burned by the sun. Kaylee searches the compartments of the lifeboat and finds a small box of matches. She sets them aside carefully, knowing they might be useful later. She also finds some sunscreen lotion and throws it across to the people in the car so they can protect themselves from the burning sun. The survivors talk about what might have happened happen to all the other people from the party. Kaylee realizes something terrible. Everyone who slept on the open sand during the night has already been consumed by whatever is under the ground. All those other partygoers are simply gone. Their belongings, shoes, bags, cups are still scattered across the beach, but the people themselves have vanished. Looking out at the beach, Kaylee notices that the giant strange object that Vance and Gilbert found the night before is now completely destroyed, cracked open and hollow. She stares at it and slowly comes to a horrifying conclusion. She believes the object was some kind of alien egg, and during the night while everyone was asleep, it hatched. Whatever was inside is now living underneath the sand. When Gilbert hears this theory, he starts shaking and screaming again, swinging around violently in his barrel. Kaylee speaks to him firmly, but gently, telling him that the creature has likely just hatched and is probably still young and not fully grown. That means it might not be at its full power yet, and they still have a fighting chance if they stay calm and think clearly. To understand how far the creature can reach, Kaylee takes a packet of sausages and begins throwing them one by one onto different spots on the beach. Every time a sausage lands on the sand, it is instantly snatched up and swallowed by the creature's tentacles, thin, fast, sand-colored arms that burst out of the ground and pull food in. By testing different distances, Kaylee tries to find the outer edge of where the creature can reach. During this experiment, a seagull swoops down and steals one of the sausages right in front of Gilbert's face, eating it while he watches, starving and stuck. Gilbert is furious and heartbroken. After a few more throws, Kaylee finds a spot far enough away where the sausage lands and the tentacles cannot reach it in time. The survivors are relieved there is a safe zone. But Shonda quickly points out the problem. The safe zone is too far away and they have no way to get there without walking across the deadly sand. Jonah has an idea. He grabs 2 surfboards from inside the car and uses them like stepping stones, placing them flat on the sand and walking across them like a bridge to avoid touching the ground directly. Carefully and slowly, he makes his way across the boards toward the wooden table in the middle of the beach. But just as he reaches the table and steps up onto the benches, one of the surfboards slips out from under his feet. He loses his balance and dangles over the sand for a moment. The tentacles immediately shoot up from the ground and wrap around his stomach. He screams in agony. With one desperate jump, he manages to grab the edge of the table and haul himself up, but his midsection is now badly wounded, deep painful gashes from where the tentacles grabbed him. Jonah lies there on the table groaning and shaking. After a few minutes, he manages to sit up. He searches the bags on the table and finds a good amount of food stored there. While picking up the food, he accidentally drops a banana on the ground. When he reaches down to pick it up, he notices something unusual. The tentacles do not grab it right away. There seems to be a small delay or a gap in the creature's reach in that particular spot. Then, Jonah notices why. The bonfire from the night before had burned right there. The fire had left a patch of hot burned ground, and the creature could not pass through it or exist in it. Fire keeps the creature back. This is the breakthrough they needed. Fire is the weapon. The creature cannot survive heat or flame. While Jonah lies injured and the survivors discuss their next move, his injuries become worse and worse. He is running a high fever, and his wounds look infected. Kaylee does what she can to help from a distance, talking him through it and keeping him calm. Meanwhile, back at the car, the group comes up with a plan to call for help. The cell phones are locked in the trunk of the car. Ronnie decides to try to open the trunk. She carefully climbs out of the car window and balances herself on the rear bumper, a narrow metal bar at the very back of the car, so she can reach the trunk lock without stepping on the ground. Chanda holds onto Ronnie's arms to keep her steady. Every time Ronnie tries to pull the trunk open, she slips and the lid slams shut. They try again and again. Eventually, Kaylee throws down a rescue hook from the lifeguard tower for Shonda to use to hold Ronnie more securely. This time, Ronnie manages to get the trunk open, but at exactly that moment, a police car pulls up to the edge of the beach. The officer sees the group young people hanging out of windows and off cars doing strange things, and he honks his horn and approaches. The noise startles Ronnie, who slips again. This time, the heavy trunk lid comes crashing down on her fingers, crushing them badly. She screams in pain. The police officer gets out of his car and walks toward them. He is wearing heavy, thick leather boots, which by sheer luck give him enough protection that the creature's tentacles, which dart up from the sand around his feet, cannot grip him properly, and he keeps walking. He does not notice the tentacles at all because they are not strong enough to penetrate his boots. Kaylee calls out to him urgently, telling him not to step on the open sand and warning him about the creature below. Gilbert shouts from inside his barrel, telling the officer to call the National Guard immediately because this is a global threat. The officer looks around, sees the teenagers acting hysterically, and concludes they are drunk or high on drugs from the party. He does not believe a word they are saying. He walks calmly around the beach, checking on everyone. He examines Jonah, who is lying on the table with worsening infected wounds and a high fever. He checks on Ronnie's crushed and bleeding hand. He tries to pull Gilbert out of the barrel, but the young man is too large and heavy, and the officer cannot free him alone. Eventually, he tells Kaylee and and Mitch to come down from the lifeguard tower so he can ask them questions. Kaylee desperately explains everything: the creature, the deaths, the tentacles, the sand. The officer shakes his head and refuses to believe her. He takes out his pepper spray and threatens to force them down. But then, as he reaches for the pepper spray, Kenneth slips from his hand and falls onto the open sand. He bends down automatically to pick it up, and the moment his hand touches the sand, the tentacles grab him. They wrap around his wrist, and then his entire arm, dragging him down. He fights back, grabs the pepper spray with his other hand, and sprays it directly into the sand. The chemicals seem to irritate the creature, and it loosens its grip just enough, but the damage is already done. His arm has been completely eaten away below the elbow. He staggers to his feet, screaming and staring at the mangled remains of his arm. Blood pours everywhere. He is in complete shock. Kaylee watches from above with no sympathy. She climbs down to the edge of the ladder and grabs the pepper spray away from the injured officer. She is angry he did not listen to her warnings. She leaves him there on the sand where the creature finishes him off within seconds. Now armed with the pepper spray, Mitch comes up with an escape plan. He decides he is the fastest runner in the group. His idea: wrap towels around his feet to protect them, spray the sand with pepper spray to stun the creature, and then sprint at full speed towards safety. He will run, find help, and come back for the others. He calls out to Chanda to throw him some towels. She grabs them and throws them across. But just as Mitch reaches out to catch the bundle of towels, a section of the wooden railing on the lifeguard platform breaks. Mitch loses his footing and falls crashing down onto the open sand below. He cannot move. He screams that he cannot feel any part of his body. The creature has him completely. The others stare down in horror, unable to help. Within seconds, the tentacles coil around Mitch's body, work their way up to his throat, and go through him. His body shudders and stops moving. Then the creature pulls him down into the earth, leaving behind only a large, dark bloodstain on the sand where he had been. Mitch is gone. Kaylee is devastated but forces herself to stay focused. She is the leader now. She pulls herself together and speaks clearly and firmly to the others. She has a plan. She removes another piece of the wooden railing from the tower and throws it to Chanda, who places it across onto the hood of the car. Kaylee jumps across from the tower to the car hood using the railing as a bridge. Together, she and Chanda help Ronnie's injured hand, wrapping it tightly with cloth to slow the bleeding. Then all three of them carefully position wooden pieces across the sand to create a makeshift walking path like a series of small floating platforms and balance their way across to the table where Jonah is waiting. Ronnie is the last one to cross the platform path. She is weak from blood loss, and halfway across her legs give out beneath her. She falls. Her body lands on the open sand. Kaylee immediately sprays pepper spray in a wide arc around her, but the tentacles are too fast and too many. They grab Ronnie from below and drag her down before anyone can do anything. She is gone. Three are left: Kaylee, Chanda, and Jonah, who is barely conscious from his infected wounds. Following the plan Mitch had originally thought of, Chanda wraps her feet tightly in towels that have been soaked in pepper spray. She takes a deep breath and runs across the open sand to the car. The tentacles shoot up around her feet, but the spray and the thick towels keep them from gripping her. She makes it. The others cheer. There is still hope, but then the creature shifts underground. It moves beneath the metal barrel where Gilbert is trapped. The ground beneath the barrel trembles violently. The vibrations travel up through the metal and into Gilbert's body. He screams as something begins attacking him from the inside of the barrel through the ground vibrations or energy from the creature tearing through him internally. The creature then sends its real physical tentacles bursting through the bottom of the barrel, wrapping around Gilbert and pulling him downward. He screams one last time, and then he is gone. The barrel falls silent. Chanda, watching from the car, breaks down crying. She loved Gilbert. The creature seems to sense the emotional distraction, or perhaps it has simply grown bolder and it attacks the car. The vehicle is slammed hard from below, and the impact throws Chanda off the hood and knocks her unconscious. She lands on the car and stays there, passed out. Night comes. The beach is dark and silent. Kaylee sits with Jonah at the table, watching over Chanda across the sand on the car. Hours pass slowly. Eventually, toward midnight, Chanda wakes up. She is disoriented, but alive. Looking inside the car, Chanda finds an inflatable lifeboat, a flat rubber raft used for water rescues. She inflates it and drops it onto the sand, using it as a lightweight floating platform to walk on. She moves carefully across it toward the table, and together with Kaylee, they lift Jonah off the table. He can barely walk. They guide him slowly back to the car, laying him gently on the seat. Just as they think they might finally be safe, a massive tentacle bursts up from the sand, much larger than anything they have seen before. The ground shakes violently. The force throws Kaylee backward into the inflatable raft. She lands hard but is unhurt. She looks up at the car roof and sees canisters of fuel gasoline kept for emergencies. She climbs onto the car, grabs a canister, and begins pouring fuel in a wide circle around the vehicle. The creature attacks again, knocking one of the canisters out of her hands and flinging it away. But Kaylee grabs the last remaining canister and keeps going, completing the full circle of fuel around the car. She reaches into her pocket. The box of matches she found that morning is still there. She strikes one match. She touches the flame to the fuel trail. The fire races around the circle, instantly burning bright and hot. The creature shrieks, or at least the ground shrieks, as the fire reaches its body below the surface. The tentacles thrash wildly in every direction, glowing orange and white with heat slapping against the car windows trying to get in. The car shakes violently. Kaylee and Chanda press themselves against the doors, eyes wide, as glowing tentacles smash against the glass over and over. Then slowly the shaking stops. The tentacles pull back. The fire finishes burning. The ground goes quiet and still. The creature is dead. Kaylee and Chanda look at each other in exhausted relief. Then they look at Jonah. His eyes are closed. His chest is not moving. In the chaos of the final battle, Jonah's injuries finally took his life. They sit beside him quietly, tears streaming down their faces, and say goodbye to the last of their friends. Then they wait. There is nothing else to do. They cannot walk. They do not know if the creature is really gone or just wounded. So they stay in the car holding each other and eventually fall into an exhausted sleep. When the sun rises on the second morning, a lone surfer comes riding along the beach on his bicycle. He spots the car and sees the two girls slumped inside unconscious. He walks right across the sand normally freely and knocks on the car window. Kaylee and Chanda jolt awake. They stare out at the surfer who is standing on the open sand with no problem at all. The creature is truly gone. The beach is safe. They push the car door open carefully and place one foot on the sand, then another. Nothing happens. The ground is just sand again. Normal, ordinary sand. They step out fully and stand on the beach, feeling the solid ground beneath their feet, almost unable to believe it. They look back at the beach around them, where the giant alien egg had been, where the creature had burrowed and spread beneath the surface. There is now a massive, wide, deep crater like the earth itself caved in. The alien is gone, burned, destroyed. They leave Jonah's body in the car. They cannot carry him, and there will be time for proper goodbyes later. The two girls walk away from the beach together, alive, exhausted, and deeply scarred by everything they have witnessed. Behind them, the crater stretches across what was once a beautiful, peaceful beach.